Hi guys, thanks for tuning into this video. It's Adam at RRG Toyota. Now, we're here to talk to you today about a little bit about hybrid technology, and a lot of people still have questions about it. You know, what is hybrid, how does it work, and what's it like to drive? So we're going to be showing you in this little video presentation a few things about hybrid. So hybrids come in a lot of different sizes. So you've got the Yaris, came out initially in 1999. You've got the Corolla, which has got an absolutely fantastic heritage, the CHR, which is a nice big family crossover, and then you've got the RAV4, again with a lot of heritage and a more traditional SUV size class of car. Now, the way hybrid works is like a normal conventional petrol engine, offers a significantly better drive with a combination of electric power mode. Now, while you're driving, what will happen is it'll drive initially on just electric. It'll then switch to petrol and electric running side by side as and when required, and as and when it doesn't require it, shut the engine off. Therefore saving you a lot of fuel and also giving you fantastic MPGs, and also with that electric motor, instant power and a really responsive drive. So we're going to be taking you out in this lovely little Yaris design. It's also got a panoramic roof, which is one of the options that are available on this model. And we're going to be showing you a little bit about what sort of performance this car will give you, and also show you a little bit of the driving experience that you'll get from this car. So come with us and let's take you on a hybrid tour. So what most people ask is, what's it like to start a car and what's it like to drive it? So starting up a hybrid is no different than starting up your own normal conventional car. So simply pop the key in, foot on the foot brake, and turn it on. And one thing you will notice is it starts silently. So you'll hear a little beep, and on the dashboard you'll see a little green light that says ready and EV to indicate that it's ready to set off in electric drive mode. So one thing that's really useful when you are driving, which we'll be showing you while we're actually out on the route that we're going to take, is this little display here, which will indicate what exactly your car's doing at each given time. So when you're braking, it'll show little arrows showing the charging from the brakes to the battery. When you're using electric in just electric drive mode, it'll show arrows pointing from the battery to the wheels to indicate that you're just using electric. And then when you're on things like the motorway, dual carriageways, or at higher speeds, it'll show a combination of electric and petrol being used at the same time. So one thing that you will notice about the Yaris Hybrid is when you are setting off and sat stationary like this, it's quiet. It's near enough silent. So as we're about to set off from these sets of traffic lights and head onto the motorway, you'll notice how quiet it is on an initial setup. And then even when we get on the motorway, it's going to be driving in petrol and electric mode. But then as and when it requires, drop that petrol engine when it doesn't need it and just drive off just the electric. So like now, as we're setting off, we're still just driving pure electric mode, and the engine's just kicked in. So really, really quiet, even when the engine kicks in. And as we're heading on the motorway now, we're up to, it's a bit louder than ours, that M4. As we're driving now, it is still quite quiet. It's not giving off a load of noise. It's using as much energy as possible to get up to a cruising speed, and as and when it needs to, it will be dropping that engine, saving a lot of fuel, and just driving on the electric power that's stored in the battery. So one thing that the Yaris does boast, a lot of people think, you know, it's a little car, it's a hybrid car, it's built for the economy, is how responsive those electric motors are. Now, electric motors generate instantaneous power. So when you are wanting that extra little bit of power, there's a drive mode for that. Does what it says on the tin, it's power mode. So when you press the drive mode button, what will happen is you can change the drive mode to power, and as soon as you put your foot down, you'll feel it pick up quite quickly. And again, that's combining the electric motors and the petrol engine to give you the optimal power for the drive style you want to be in. And it does exactly the opposite for eco mode. So you'll put it into eco mode, and it will just lessen the throttle response off a little bit more to make sure that you're driving as economically as possible. So it's not giving as much power to those electric motors, therefore saving electricity and maximising on your MPG. So one thing you will notice is every now and again, hybrid is really good for, is this. Traffic. We all get stuck in it every day. The average person commutes 14 miles a day. Now, one thing that you get on all hybrid models is EV mode, and that's a little button down in your center console near the drive mode button. When you press this, the engine will shut off as much as it possibly can, if not entirely, and that will drive you in just electric mode for a few miles until you're out of the traffic. As and when you do come out of traffic, you put your foot down like you would do in normal driving situations, and the engine will kick back up automatically to make sure you get back up to a normal drive mode and normal speed. So Toyota have done this thing both in the past and now, and will do in the future, and they release the right technology at the right time. So most manufacturers, you'll notice, are pushing electric vehicles, and yes, it is brilliant. However, at the moment, we believe Toyota are releasing the right technology at the right time too, by releasing much better hybrid technology while the infrastructure is building up, ready for that electric step, and hybrid right now is definitely the right option to be driving. So out of a 1.5 hybrid engine, the sort of MPGs that you're going to be expecting is, you know, on average between 65.5 and 68.8. That's the WLTP figure that they give you from the lab. Now, if you zoom into, my cameraman's going to be handy here while we're rolling up to this junction. You actually zoom in, we've been travelling on the motorway and it was averaging 70 mpg, and as we've been braking, it's been sort of driving up this junction in electric drive mode. You actually see the mpg's gone up to 194. Obviously a little bit unrealistic. You can't be driving in 194 mpg all the time, but our average test drive route will give us an MPG of anywhere between 75 and 85 MPG. Obviously, give and take that with different drive styles, you can be achieving way above the average MPG that it actually quotes from WLTP. So that's our test drive done. Sure you'll agree, it's got quite a lot of benefits. So the best thing about the hybrid system is the drive that we've just done is 15 miles and the average MPG has covered 78.2. So that covers a little bit of motorway, a little bit of urban, some speed bumps and roundabouts. Now, we do obviously love our hybrid systems, but don't just take our word for it. Get on down to your local RRG Toyota Centre, take a spin in a hybrid and let us know what you think, and see if you can hit our scoreboard for the best MPG and electric drive rates on our stunning hybrid models.